Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a most delicious. Actually, we've made a version of this over 10 years ago, and it definitely needs a facelift. We're making a beautiful, quick, really easy apricot balsamic pork tenderloin that you can serve as a main for a small gathering around this time of year, or, hear me out, thinly slice it on a baguette, a smear of Dijon and mayo, if you'd like, and top it with arugula. And it is going to be one of the most delicious things. And if you're doing like a really casual game night where you're doing some French onion puffs and maybe like a shrimp cocktail, and then this on a long baguette cut into pieces, phenomenal. What else do you need, right? The pork tenderloin in question is just that, a pork tenderloin. Now, pork tenderloin, it will be somewhat uneven. So you see how this tail end is just a little bit smaller than this? It's going to be fine. It just means that when I cook this to 145, this portion is just going to be carried over cooking to about 150, the smaller portion I meant, which is fine. It's going to be great. I'm going to take some rosemary, just one, I always want to call this a stalk of rosemary, a stem, and I'm going to finely chop the leaves because I'm going to marry that with some all-purpose garlic and herb seasoning of my choice or your choice, or you can just simply make one. I'm gonna marry them together, and then I'm gonna roll my pork tenderloin in this mixture and sear it. I have my oven preheating to 375. I have a non-stick skillet with a touch of light olive oil preheating over about medium-high heat. Non-stick is best for this, and the reason is because we're adding apricot jam, a little bit of honey, a little bit of balsamic, all things that tend to stick. And if you're doing this in a non-stick, good luck getting it off. If we're being frank, I'm going to, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to season my board because watch how easy it makes this entire process. You take your garlic and herb seasoning, you take your sale, you take your pepe, and your rosemary. Season your board. It's a cylinder, okay? Watch. Put it on one end and then just roll it into the seasoning. If your pork tenderloin, lots of fat, lots of silver skin, take it off. Watch what I do. How perfect is this? Don't forget the ends. I want every bit of this to be beautifully flavored. And when we introduce a sticky, sweet, slightly spicy, vinegary sauce to this, it's perfection. In your hot pan, bend it if you have to, all good. Leave it there to sear, okay? That's gonna sear. I want it to be beautifully golden brown. In the meantime, I'm gonna clean my board, clean my hands, and then we'll get going on making the sauce. We're gonna make the glaze, which is essentially really, well, I should say we're gonna make the sauce, which is essentially more like a glaze, and it's beyond, okay? You're gonna take some apricot preserves. You can use apricot jam, whatever you use. Make sure it's seedless. A touch of honey, okay? The honey just reinforces the stickiness of the apricot. You can leave it out completely, but I like to use about a tablespoon of honey. Good balsamic vinegar, a couple tablespoons of that. That's good, that's good, that's good. And then you're gonna use, I need a clean spoon, Dijon mustard. It all sounds crazy odd, but would I steer you wrong? You know I wouldn't. And a touch of heat with some sriracha. And you are just gonna give this a stir until it's all combined. You can taste this and you can figure out if you want more mustard, if you want more vinegar, if you want more apricot. I have made this so many times throughout the years that I can just tell by look and feel that it is perfect as is. So I'm leaving it. I am leaving it. Perfect. Set it aside. Flip your tenderloin. Oh yeah, look at the color. Look at that color. Now listen, if you didn't sear it, you see this? This is flavor, okay? What do you have against flavor? Because if you don't sear this, you're not gonna get flavor. And now I don't know about you, but nothing it's worth eating if it doesn't have good flavor. And that is perfection. All in all, it's gonna take about 10 minutes to sear. And I really sear it on 3 sides. I don't really so much worry about that little side right here. I worry about the 2 main sides and a little bit on the back. And then we glaze it, and then we roast it, and then we slice it, and then we eat it, and it is phenomenal. Trust me. All right, gorgeously seared. You're just gonna take your sauce. Obviously, I'm not gonna hit it on the bottom, but you wanna kind of coat the top of this really nicely. You kind of wanna be generous with it, okay? You're not gonna use all of it right now, but trust you me, it's gonna be amazing, okay? I'd say take about half. Beautiful. I'm gonna throw this into the oven, okay? Into the oven to roast until the internal temperature reaches about 145 or 150, okay? And a tenderloin, that's perfectly safe. Don't believe me? Look it up. I'm gonna leave it in there, and I'm gonna show you what we do next. Don't touch this. You will need it. I'm just gonna clean up. Tenderloin is out. I'm letting it rest a few minutes. In the meantime, this is what was left in the skillet when I took it out of the oven, which, by the way, that only took about 18 minutes in the oven, I think. Not too shabby. You're gonna add the remaining sauce along with a little bit of water, and you're gonna bring this to a boil. You have thickener in there, the honey and the apricot jam. It's going to be all the thickener you need. You don't need to worry about a slurry, cornstarch, any of that, which is always nice when you don't have to mess with all that. And it's just going to provide enough sauciness to sort of drizzle over the tenderloin when we slice it. I'm going to taste it now that it's coming to a boil because I want to add a little bit of acid as well, just to kind of cut down the sweetness. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Oh, so my timer came more off, but it's not my timer. It's all good. A touch of lemon juice, just to kind of, like I said, cut through the sweetness. And some of the spice. And now you're just going to let that just to reduce and thicken. That is dynamite. Okay. Now remember, one side was thicker than the other, so the tail end is going to be a little more well cooked, but this is was a perfect 145 when I took it out, which carries over cooking, and it's just juicy. Look how juicy that is. See that? And absolutely perfect. I'm going to thinly slice it, and then I'm going to add it to a plate, drizzle my sauce, and just go to town because this is so delicious. So perfect. You can do the exact same thing to a regular pork loin, not a tenderloin, if you're looking to feed a bigger crowd, or simply double or triple the recipe. We love easy around here, okay? So while I wait for that to do its job, which is almost there, this is almost cut, and then we plate and serve. Look at how glossy. Look at the sauce in this pan. Look at how thick and gorgeous and saucy. And we didn't have to make a separate sauce. We just used that initial glaze. It's divine, divine. You know something? I don't know if you know this, but now you're going to know. Italians love, at least in my family, we love a roast with like a stone fruit. We love a whole piece of pork shoulder roasted with, we could do plums, you could do we could do apples. We love it. It's delicious. It's common. It's definitely common around the holiday season. I just need to take this piece right here. I can't take it anymore. I gotta do that. That's a 10 out of 10. That is sublime. It's sweet. It's sticky. That balsamic vinegar in the background is definitely giving you the attitude that it needs to give. The squeeze of lemon brought everything to life. It's phenomenal. Go to laurainthekitchen.com. What I was saying was, we love stone fruit with our meat. Feels very celebratory, feels very special, and this to me is paying homage to that in a very easy and simple way that I can make on a Tuesday or on a fabulous Saturday with a bunch of friends. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.